Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I am Sally Limas. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Breaking news this afternoon, FBI agents executed a raid on the Department of Public Safety. Also tonight, lawmakers dig into a local business stimulus program up on Capitol Hill. And we head to the crossroads between Asia and Europe in a report from Istanbul. In sports, we paddle with a young outrigger paddler who is making a name for himself. Stay with us, we have these stories and more next.
What's the move? Kinda wild out. Casual groove. She said, where you going? What's the move? Kinda wild out. Casual groove. What's the move?
Across the nation, more and more people are driving under the influence of drugs. The CNMI Department of Public Safety would like to remind you to drive safe this holiday season. Do not drive while under the influence of marijuana, opioids, methamphetamines, or other potentially impairing drugs, including prescription and over-the-counter medication. These drugs can impair your driving and can put you and others in harm's way. Be responsible this holiday season. It's not just your life at risk, but the lives of the people around you. Don't let one poor choice ruin the holidays for you or your loved ones. Drive safe this holiday season.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety.
Remember, if you feel different, you drive different.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the WAMI and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, December 16th, 2022. Late this afternoon, FBI agents raided the Department of Public Safety and the Bureau of Motor Vehicles at police headquarters in Susupe.
An FBI agent put a closed sign on the Bureau of Motor Vehicles door and locked it as they executed a search inside.
Can you comment on what's happening?
No, I can't.
Dre Pangilinan says the federal officers came in late this afternoon with a search warrant in hand. Some agents are here, they're over at BMV and they're upstairs. What did they say when they came in?
I wasn't notified of anything. We do have agents over here right now. I was not given information for the purpose of being here. I think all of us in the department right now, we're not so sure what they're here for or what they're looking for. But we do have our department working with the FBI, and we're just giving them space to walk around or do whatever they need to do to conduct their visit.
Did they come in with a search warrant?
Yes, I believe so. I believe I did hear that they were here for a search warrant, but other than that, I don't have any info.
Agents locked all the doors into the BMV and then put signs on all the doors. Who did they give the search warrant to?
That I'm not aware of right now. Yeah, so I'm trying to find that information and hopefully I can share it with you guys, that info, but as of right now, that's all I have.
This is a developing story. We will have more news in the coming days. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
Lawmakers up on Capitol Hill calls in the governor's chief of staff to the House chamber, kicking off their fact-finding quest into the Boost program. Will Castro appeared before the House Ways and Means Committee and the Judiciary and Governmental Operations Committee today, answering questions relating to the CNMI Boost program. Castro is a member of the review panel for Boost applicants and is the first to appear before the joint body. According to his testimony, the review panel makes funding recommendations, which is then given to the governor for approval and then passed on to the Bank of Saipan for distribution as they act as the administrator of funds. Representative Edwin Probst raises concern on the process.
He determines the amount given. He approves whatever has been stipulated, I guess, in the list. So if he's just approving what you've already put forward, then you guys have a lot of say. He has final approval, but you guys are the one making the recommendation, and you're saying he's just rubber stamping it and just approving it? Or does he disagree with you at times, and does he change it and say, I think this company deserves more? To the best of my knowledge, at no point has the governor asserted himself to remove or add or otherwise amend the recommended amounts or listed names on the ledger. Okay, so the governor may have the final say and the final authority, but he has, to your recollection, never made any changes to that. Therefore, as panelists, you guys make the recommendation as to how much a company or what companies are awarded and how much they will get, and he simply says approved. Is that correct?
It is correct that the panel makes a recommendation to the governor for final approval.
Okay, and he makes that approval based on what you guys put forward. Is that correct? I just want this for the record.
The governor, whatever the decision is the final authority.
Another concern from lawmakers about the grants process is the determination of approval and denial of applicants. Representative Tina Sablon.
So how would any member of the public or member of this body, for that matter, how would we know that conflict of interest policies were properly adhered to, or that there was this quality control that you mentioned, and two or more members of the panel had reached a consensus to recommend an application? How do we know if there's no record? Where's the quality control in that?
Sure, so the manifestation of a decision by consensus is in the recordation of the list that's advanced to the governor, ma'am.
The hearing began at 10 this morning until 4 in the afternoon. The committee is on recess until Monday, with Castro coming back in to testify more, followed by Commerce Secretary Edward DeLon Guerrero and Finance Secretary David Attilig. Stay with us as we bring you more on Monday. The CNMI Board of Parole supports pardon to 9 applicants despite objections by the Attorney General's office. The CNMI Board of Parole expresses full support for all 9 applicants requesting pardon and clemency for previous crimes committed. The decision of the board now goes to the governor, who has the last say on whether or not to grant the pardon request. Acting Chief Parole Officer Jason Lizama says the board convened on Thursday and ended deliberation early this morning due to a conflict of schedule.
Due to us hearing the 9 applicants yesterday is because one of our board members from the island of Saipan, Mr. Susupera, is also one of the board members in the Election Commission, and they're also trying to do the official votes.
The 9 applicants are Olin Jacob, Daniel Kidigwa, Jose Rabalaman, Natividad Sablon, Geraldine Sabaklim, Kenny Cruz, Alfred Saras, Ambrosio Ogumero, and Edward Delon Guerrero. Delon Guerrero is currently incarcerated. Lizama says out of the 9 applicants, only 8 appeared before the board on Thursday.
Well, not all 9 members were present yesterday. Our first applicant, Mr. Ambrosio Ogumero, was on medical, and he is off island.
The board is chaired by Michael San Nicolas, vice chaired by Lucinda Silapeo, with members George Hokuk, Jess Cepeda, and Ignacio Mendiola. The Attorney General's office opposed the clemency request for 3 of the individuals. Daniel Kidigwa, who participated in repeated thefts, burglary, and robberies, and was charged with kidnapping and possession of a firearm. Edward Delon Guerrero, arrested on charges that included attempted second-degree murder. And Jose Rabalaman, who was found guilty of rape and kidnapping. The inauguration for the NMI's new governor and lieutenant governor is in 3 weeks. The committee working out all the details as we speak. The inauguration date for Governor-elect Arnold Palacios and Lieutenant Governor-elect David Apatang is set for January 9, 2023. The committee, headed by John Regis, Oscar Babauta, and Clyde Narita, announced this week that the event will take place at the Multipurpose Center in Susupi.
They're very adamant about having it at least centered to the island, populated areas. So we're doing our best, how best to facilitate that and take extra precautionary measure in terms of traffic, security, and the likes.
According to Babauta, the inauguration activity is funded by the CNMI government, and their proposed budget is around $200,000.
We've already prepared a budget for that, and our chairman, John Reyes, will be presenting that to the Governor Torres in line with the inaugural and transitional expenses. But a chunk of it would mostly come from the inauguration side of these activities that's going on. So we're looking at about 200 to 240,000 for this, and hoping, crossing my fingers, corporate people start, showing humility in terms of calling up what can they do to facilitate and help the inauguration becoming a success event for the people of the Commonwealth. And we welcome those gestures.
The committee plans to send out all invitations this week to their distinguished guests from the region, foreign countries, and federal level.
Because of, again, the time constraint, the use of technology is easier for the inauguration. So electronic copy of the invitation is heading out to off-island dignitaries and so forth. And then the document invitation will be mailed out to them, but at least it gives them time to receive the electronic copy and make appropriate travel arrangements and so forth for the inauguration.
The Marianas Visitors Authority and United Airlines recently welcomed golf YouTubers to Saipan as they played golf and explored all the island has to offer.
In November of this year, Japan's Golf YouTube channel came to Saipan on a familiarization tour. The channel has 800,000 subscribers and 10 million views each month. On the tour was professional golfer Yuta Soto. The Marianas Visitors Authority assisted the tour by facilitating filming permits as they played at Laulau Bay Golf Resort, Coral Ocean Resort, and Kingfisher Golf Links. During their visit, the tour also filmed at various beaches and restaurants. Golfers remain one of the largest markets for the Marianas, which is why the NVA is holding a golf promotion through March of 2023. The NVA hopes to entice Japanese visitors while the yen is weak against the US dollar. Supporting familiarization tours allows the Marianas to receive great exposure with little financial investment. in this case on Golf's YouTube and other social media platforms. Milan Goodwin, reporting for KSPN2.
All right, coming up, the Toys for Tots campaign continues their mission in bringing a smile to children all over the CNMI. Stay tuned.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your wireless subscription. That's hours of movies, games, social media, and more endless fun. Get your Wi-Fi starter pack today only at Docomo Pacific. Better together. Additional conditions may apply.
This holiday season, get your goods here with care and attention using Micronesian Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. So you do the shopping and we'll do the shipping. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals quickly and cost effectively. Operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it.
My doctor gave me the pills, so they must be safe, right?
If taken exactly as prescribed, short-term use can be safe, but painkillers have real risk. Misusing an opioid painkiller can cause serious harm, including addiction and death, and misuse can happen quite easily. Make sure you never mix them with alcohol, antidepressants, sedatives, or sleep aids. And if you are prescribed an opioid, you need to tell your doctor about any other drugs, including herbal supplements that you are taking. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Subway just dropped an all-new menu of 12 sandwiches. They call it the Subway Series.
The Subway Series has 4 new categories of subs: cheesesteaks, Italianos, chicken, and clubs.
With a sandwich series like that, I'll be a happy Subway cereal eater. Subway Series. What's your pick?
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. As the World Cup winds down to a grand final between France and Argentina, our Chris Nelson reports from the crossroads of Asia and Europe.
Istanbul, Turkey is one of the most important cities in history. It straddles the Bosphorus Strait, thus lying in both Europe and Asia, and has about 15 million people, making it the largest city in Europe. Istanbul is built around the water, and ferries transport people and vehicles from Europe to Asia in just a few minutes. Ferries are efficient and inexpensive, just $1 or $2 for crossing. This strait is where Europe and Asia collide. It's the heart of multiple civilizations, and it's important economically, strategically, and culturally. The Bosphorus has played a major role in world trade for centuries. It connects the Black Sea and Russia with the Mediterranean. About 48,000 vessels transit the strait each year. It's 19 miles long. It's also one of the most dynamic regions in the world for fishing, and people fish enthusiastically from both shores and bridges. Out on the water, these fishing boats have their nets spread wide, and these seagulls follow the boats looking for some tasty leftovers. There are 2 types of fish in the Bosphorus: migratory and sedentary fish. Bluefish, European pilchard, Atlantic bonito, and needlefish are the main migratory fish that pass through the strait. Horse mackerel, brown meager, sea bass, and black scorpion fish can be caught all year round. Bosphorus is also one of the most important choke points in the maritime transit of oil. About 3% of global supply, or 3 million barrels per day, mainly from Russia and the Caspian Sea, pass through the waterway. Istanbul's always been about trade, and that is evident today. This is part of the Grand Bazaar, an area where you can buy just about anything, from plates to lamps to spices and everything in between.
Chili pepper, classic Turkish.
Oh, plenty of chili pepper at my
Maji, salt.
Oh.
Organic salt. That's one. With rice, very good.
Yeah, that's
I tried.
Turkish Delight comes in a number of different flavors and styles.
The blackberry inside a pop eggs.
Boss.
Oh, wow.
Sana yok.
Shopping transactions, though, can be a bit tricky. Prices are not fixed, and you need to be able to negotiate and think on your feet. Turkey doesn't have a team in this year's World Cup, but fans are still watching the games on television. After an afternoon of shopping and negotiating, we decided on a simple ice cream transaction. But in Istanbul, nothing is quite as it seems. So here you have it, the World Cup of an ice cream sale between Dale Roberts of the NMI Public School System Food Services Division versus an ice cream supplier. Ice Cream Man scores first, but Roberts has a trick up his sleeve and quickly evens the score. This is going to extra time. Better luck next time, Roberts. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
Thanks, Chris. It's the season of giving, and that's what this program is all about. Let's take a listen. Toys of all kinds were picked up this week by the U.S. Marine Corps and the Saipan Chamber of Commerce as they wrap up the Toys for Tots campaign.
So we're on our last week for the Toys for Tots campaign. We are doing collection throughout this week. We actually started last week on the 8th through the 9th. We were able to collect about 300 toys. We did inventory over the weekend. We're about 500 some toys now, and ASNMC, our partners, are up at the NMC campus right now doing the rest of the inventory. We're hoping to reach about 1,000 toys. It's looking like we're leading in that path.
Chamber Director Kimberly Camacho says the distribution of toys for Tinian and Rhoda happened on Wednesday, while the Saipan distribution happened today. Gunnery Sergeant Ruben Tan.
So the Toys for Tots mission is to give a child the joy of Christmas during the holiday season, because times can be hard for a lot of families out there, especially after COVID and everything. Everyone's trying to recover and just return to a sense of normalcy. But what the Toys for Tots Foundation does, it allows children to receive a toy during the holiday season.
Tan says this year's outcome has been great so far for both the NMI and Guam. Their hope is to grow more in the coming years.
And I feel like the great way to measure successes in the program is all about awareness. So as long as the community is able to become more aware about what we're doing, more aware about the Toys for Tots program, the amount of toys that are donated will naturally grow as well.
The U.S. Marine Corps has been doing the Toys for Tots campaign for 75 years now. In the NMI, 5 years.
I would say my most favorite part about the program is whenever you get the toy into the child's hands. That's probably the most rewarding part, because whenever it comes to gathering all the toys, all the sorting and counting, it could be very labor intensive, but it's always good to remember why we are doing this. And whenever you're able to see the smile on a child's face, or you're able to speak to the parents who are able to receive these toys for the child, that's when it's really like you understand why you're doing this and why this program is very important.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We have sports up next.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
The largest show in the Pacific is looking for dancers to work on Guam. The show, Carrera, an island, a journey, an adventure. This is a unique opportunity for dancers from Saipan, Tinian, Rhoda, and beyond. Polynesian and contemporary dancers for one show nightly, 5 days per week. offering competitive pay, airline flights, and even housing for off-island hires. Join the cast and experience working with a world-class creative team that has worked with Madonna, Celine Dion, U2, and Cirque du Soleil. Show now in pre-production. It will begin in March. Casting call on now. Up to 40 dancers are needed. Send bios and photos to casting@baldiga.com. Sandcastle Guam. Casting call. Apply now. At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
For tonight's sports report, a young and driven paddler with love for the waters. Armilan Goodwin introduces us to our young star for tonight.
Wherever there is a channel for water, there is a road for the canoe. A quote from Henry David Thoreau.
Young Star Shining, brought to you by the Tan Su Lin Foundation.
Our young star for tonight is an 18-year-old MHS dolphin who takes to the ocean. Here is Zen Tomakane.
My name is Zen Ichiro Tomakane. I am 18 years old and I paddle for Marinas High School's Va'a Club.
Zen started paddling for outrigger in high school and was initially drawn in by the water aspect of the sport.
I started paddling around my sophomore year of high school. It was during the PSS Interscholastics, and it was when I really was super new to the sport. I had no idea what was going on, just that we were going to be on the water, and I think I really enjoyed that part of it, and since then I've been hooked on.
Outside of school, Zen is also a part of the Saipan Paddling Club, where he can get more practice and coaching.
I also paddle for a Saipan Paddling Club. It's outside of school, and I get coaching from Coach Justin Andrew, who is really amazing at what he does. He's been doing this for a long time, and he has a well-developed history with bringing paddling to the CNMI. In school though, I am coached by another paddler. Her name is Tiana Aldan, and she actually is also being coached by my Saipan Paddling Club coach. So it's very communal, and it's very engaging.
On the boat, Zen takes on the very important role of seat 6 or steersman, where he must control the path of the canoe.
So I currently sit at seat 6. That is the steer's seat. It is, and my role in seat 6 is really to just steer the boat, keep it in a straight line so that we're not drifting with the current and we're not rocking side to side. My coach in Saipan Paddling Club loves to say the fastest way from point A to B is a straight line, and that is my job, to keep the boat on a straight line.
Zen loves the sport because of the community he builds with his teammates and other paddlers.
My favorite part about paddling isn't exactly when we're on the boat together, but more so when we come down together at the beach. It's a very, very therapeutic environment. You know, in my case, I'm at practices at least 3 days a week, and we're at the beach. It's a very calming environment. We're at the ocean, we see friends, and it's really when we get into the boat together as well that we really have to share one mind, and I really, really like that. It sort of takes you away from all the responsibilities you have outside of the beach, and it brings everyone together in that sense.
After graduation, Zen plans to pursue a higher education off-island, but would love the chance to come back and paddle sometime in the future.
I do have some plans to move off-island for college. However, if ever given the opportunity to move back to Saipan, I would definitely love to continue paddling, even after high school. I think that it's a sport that I've grown to really love. It's a sport that I've dedicated a lot of time to, and it's a sport that I would love to dedicate some more time to in the future.
Although Zen plans on moving off-island after high school, he highly encourages other juniors to join a paddling team, in or outside of school, because of how unique the sport is in the Sinamai.
The Saipan Paddling Club is open to all juniors. It is a sport that doesn't get as much recognition and as much love as, say, volleyball or basketball or school soccer. And I think that if we can get more people to get into this sport, it's something that we can really use. It's very unique to our Pacific Island culture, and it's a sport that we can all really get our hands on. It takes you away from all the responsibilities, and it brings us to the beach, which is always a great thing.
Zen found a welcoming community through paddling and advises other young athletes to join team sports because of this.
If you are having some trouble with finding a sense of community in your school, joining a school sport or community sport club is definitely a good step, in a sense that you're going to surround yourselves with individuals who might also want to escape all of the busy life that you have going on outside of a sports community. And I think that joining a sports community can really take you away from all that. It can take you away from the stress that comes with balancing homework and work and family life as well. And especially if you do plan to join an ocean sport like Va'a, you can really bring yourself down to the beach, disconnect from your phone and forget about all of that. And I would advise you to commit yourself to that.
Young Star Shining, brought to you by the Tan Su Lin Foundation.
What's the move?
Freshness. It's the overall reason beer drinkers choose draft beer. And that's the reason Godfather's is making a serious commitment to offering their customers a full lineup of draft beer on tap. Choose from Lagunitas IPA, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, Lost Coast Downtown Brown Ale, Fat Tire, Blue Moon, and more. All competitively priced. Godfather's Bar now serving the island's widest selection of ice-cold beer right from the tap. Godfather's Bar, where everybody's family.
And for the KSPN weather report, tonight breezy at times, partly cloudy with isolated showers, east to northeast winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, lows around 76 with the chance of showers at 20%. Tomorrow, breezy, partly cloudy with scattered showers, east to northeast winds 20 to 25 miles per hour, gusts up to 35 miles per hour possible, highs near 86. The chance of showers again for tomorrow is 20%. For the marine forecast, fresh trade winds become fresh to strong Saturday. Combined seas of 69 feet increase to between 8 and 11 feet this weekend. A small craft advisory remains in effect through at least Sunday. The low tide will be at 7:36 a.m., high tide at 1:57 p.m. Sunrise will be at 6:36 a.m. and the sunset 5:50 p.m. And that wraps up your news, sports, and weather for your Friday edition of here in the Marianas. We thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.